There is already some madness in the air as number 1 and number 3 have already lost this afternoon. And here in Chapel Hill, the second-ranked Tar Heels of North Carolina will take on arch rival Duke. In the ACC, Carolina with a win will claim the regular season conference title outright for the first time since 1993. And let's take a look at the starting lineups as State Farm covers the court. And you might notice a couple of seniors in the lineup for North Carolina. It is senior day. Charlie Everett, number 15, will get a start along with C.J. Hooker. As Duke and Carolina prepare to play for the second time this year. Hello, friends. Jim Nance along with Billy Packer. Partner, it's great to be back alongside you. And what a day it's been in college basketball.
Pretty good place to start this run, isn't it, Jim? What's going on around the country is just crazy, but great.
How about this game today? And already the intensity that you know is going to be there. We've seen it as they've honored the seniors at Chapel Hill.
Well, and you start talking about not only great programs, you've got two coaches, and so far Mike Krzyzewski has really had the better of the bargain with Roy Williams, who has his program back where he wanted to see North Carolina when he took the job. This is going to be quite a battle.
Duke has won the last 4 matchups and 15 of the last 17 encounters. Tip controlled by Duke and Daniel Ewing. Blue Devils at 22-4 on the year, ranked 6th in the country. Redick working it inside. Williams with the soft hook, and Duke is on the board.
I would imagine at the first dead ball, Roy Williams will go to his regular starting lineup because he doesn't want this game to get away from him early.
Jawad Williams, and the senior too strong, plucked out of the air. Williams.
Melchionni going down to a position that he likes. Wide open jumpers.
Melchionni drives, now bounces it over Redick. Back outside, Melchionni, 3.
If he'd have followed his own shot, Jimmy, he'd have had an easy rebound. Pulled away after the shot, no man's land.
Carolina at 25-3 on the year. Only losses to Wake, Duke, and Santa Clara. Stolen away in the lane by Sheldon Williams.
Now that's a pass that Manuel normally wouldn't make, but Felton would be on the floor and will be shortly. He won't make that mistake. Here comes May off the bench and Felton right away.
Redick bangs home a 3 in the first 5 to the Blue Devils.
It's nice to have traditions as senior starters, but this is a big game, Jim. North Carolina could move to the #1 team in the nation with a victory here, and obviously a #1 seed.
Ewing in traffic, ball loose. Randolph is there for Duke to tie it up with Scott, and the arrow belongs to the Tar Heels, and here come the subs. As you said, they bring in Raymond Felton along with Sean May. But they take the floor down 5, just a minute and a half into the game.
In that first game this year, it was unbelievable. Duke made 21 of 22 fouls. They were out-rebounded 43-28. But North Carolina turned the ball over 23 times, with Duke having 17 steals. Unbelievable stats.
Manuel over to Williams for the dunk. Well, they get the full regular rotation into the game, and that works so efficiently for the easy basket. And a steal. It's Manuel to Felton. Off he goes, puts up. It's May with the follow-up.
And there's May showing the incredible ability he has to run the floor for a big man. He and Sheldon Williams really go head-to-head with each other, and May has had unbelievable statistics against Duke of late.
Jumper Williams. Sheldon Williams showing some outside game.
Yeah, both of these men have really improved in various facets of the game they did not have last year. Williams did not have that shot.
Inside to May, tipped around, taken away. Redick.
Terrific defensive maneuver that time by Williams. Leading shot blocker in the league.
Williams on the blocks, and he's fouled. Boy, you gotta love this matchup inside today of May against Williams.
Well, in the last game, even the losing cost, Sean May, 23 points, 18 rebounds. And last year, in a losing cause, he had 15 points and 21 rebounds and 14 points and 15 rebounds. So May has just been sensational against Duke.
A foul called on Jawad Williams, 2 for Sheldon Williams. Sheldon Williams averaging a double-double like Sean May is over on the Carolina side. He's the only player in the nation in the top 4 in the country in both rebounding and block shots.
And the first player that Mike Krzyzewski's had that averaged a double-double. And he's had some good ones.
Well, you start thinking about the players you thought might have been on that list.
Christian Laettner.
Christian Laettner's the first that comes to mind.
Yeah, but Grant Hill.
And the foul called on Chad Randolph.
Both teams will settle down a little bit. Tremendous intensity right here in this arena. Particularly when somebody's beaten you 15 of the last 17 times.
Well, Felton trying to get it to Scott, who lost his footing for a moment. And fortunate to keep possession. May gives it up, Manuel, and he is hit on the way out.
Pretty good double by Shavlik Randolph that time. Duke is the #1 shot blocking team in the country with 179 blocks. Williams usually holds his ground, and Shavlik Randolph comes over and does a good job as well.
Well, Carolina opened the season without Felton in that first game. He had to sit out the first game. They lost at Santa Clara, then 14 straight W's. They have not lost at home. It's been a long time since they had this kind of success at home. Got to go back again to that 93 season when they were national champions. Reggie Love comes in for the Duke Blue Devils as Randolph picked up 2 fouls on this one trip down the floor for Carolina.
That certainly hurts Duke in their loss at Maryland. They had 5 players lost by disqualification. This is not a deep team, as everybody knows. I'm happy to have Love back after that injury to his foot.
Love back out. Ewing goes ahead, takes the jumper, got the 3.
Manuel shouldn't have hesitated, but he's told not to leave Redick.
Oh, and the pass, he just wasn't balanced at the time. Marvin Williams slips off his fingertips.
The outstanding freshman just tripped right there and almost had good enough hands to hang on to it. Had an outstanding game the other night against Florida State, one of the top freshmen in the country. Scott forcing Melchione to put the ball on the floor. Wise defensive maneuver.
Redick. This not going to drop this time as May pulls it down. Here's the freshman. Short of the jumper. May follow. Yes.
Change that in the air, Jim. Terrific offensive maneuver by May. Williams was right there, and he slid the ball over about a 45-degree angle and got it off anyway.
Williams powers. Finds the open man. It's Love. Oh, misses the lay-in. Outside this time. May off the front of the rim. Melchione clears. Manuel tips it out. Carolina without McCants and Duke without Dockery. Key injuries, but here they came out of the locker room. The seniors, they've tipped it here in Chapel Hill.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Audi. The new Singular, raising the bar. And by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here.
Well, we mentioned going to break the absence of Rashad McCants and Sean Dockery, both out with injury. Dockery maybe will not even be back. Perhaps to get to the Sweet 16, he could come off that MCL injury, but McCants still out with this intestinal disorder. As the Blue Devils score on the drive.
There's Nelson into the ball game. Had the tremendous game against North Carolina the first time with 16 points. Explosive off the glass.
Felton tied up, and it's Blue Devil basketball. Billy, what about this whole McCants situation?
They both average about 26 minutes a game. I really think that North Carolina, because of their depth, can offset the loss of McCants better than Duke Ken Dockery, even though he averages a lot less points. And that is because he was so important handling the ball and his defensive pressure.
Ewing. And chased down in the corner. They let it go out. Carolina ball. But McCants has just been such a mystery. He hasn't really had any work conditioning-wise since February the 19th and began to feel ill in that win they had up at UConn second week of February.
Well, and speaking of UConn, Rashad Anderson, yesterday we saw him now back in street clothes. He went through a very difficult intestinal problem as well. So this has struck a few people around the country this year.
May. Turnaround beauty.
He saw the double team coming across the lane, reversed himself. We are looking at two of the best low post players in college basketball today. Head to head.
Williams tries to match it back.
Nelson would rather drive than shoot.
Double up on Williams.
He's awful strong.
Gets it out high. Redick looking for the lane. Now the fadeaway. Wow, what a shot.
Jim, in addition to getting himself in incredible condition, he has worked on a different arsenal of shots, and that's one of them, his step-back jumper. And watch May recognize the double team coming at him, so he comes back the other way. Terrific job on his part. Love never could get there.
Foul called on Daniel Ewing. 16-9 Blue Devils. Well, here in Chapel Hill, the Blue Devils lead it early 16-9. As Duke and Carolina tangle for the second time this season. Blue Devils won on their floor 71-70. And Roy Williams and the Tar Heels could take over #1 in the polls with a win. Although, Billy, we're not absolutely certain that Illinois wouldn't perhaps receive some consideration, even with the loss earlier today, still as a #1.
Oh, I would agree with that. The way they lost the game, it was tight. They played a good game in a tough environment. You know, Ohio State undefeated goes to Wisconsin a number of years ago with Jerry Lucas and crew and get knocked off that last game of the regular season. So it has happened before in the Big Ten.
May and Sheldon Williams. May again.
On the arm.
And I talked to Roy Williams about an hour before the game about that possibility, aware that Illinois had lost. He did not watch any of the finish of that one. And he said, I never pay any attention to the rankings. And he said, I couldn't even tell you, other than the fact that Charlotte is one of the 8 first-round sites, I couldn't even tell you another one. I only know that because my 2 children live in Charlotte. They're both working in Charlotte. He says, I don't pay any attention to those kind of things that I can't control.
I wonder if he'll be able to control the ticket requests if they go to Charlotte. Roy Williams, obviously a great coach. Did the job at Kansas. Now back home here at North Carolina, and it hasn't taken him long to put his team right where you'd expect it to be, up near the top.
They have completely bought into everything Roy Williams brought with him with all that great success in Lawrence, Kansas. And what a turnaround, what a project, and how quickly he's gotten there. And again, a chance to take him to #1 with a win here today.
I think this is good strategy to press Duke, if nothing more, to wear them down with a deeper bench.
Look at Redick fire the 3.
Over Noel, who has played really good basketball coming off the bench. He's got him by about 2 inches. He still shot over him.
Williams in traffic, and Melchione takes it out. Duke with its largest lead, looking for double digits.
Yeah, these Duke players, with 3 players playing over 35 minutes a game, are in incredible shape.
And that one got away. Was it touched by Jawad Williams? No. Carolina ball.
Good overplay by Jawad Williams. Melky only tried to go back door. The pass was already on the way.
You saw Coach K in his 30th season as a head coach. He also joined that 700 club. Billy, you saw Calhoun and Boeheim yesterday, the most recent additions to the 700 club. Coach K reached that mark back in December. 700 career wins.
And he had his shootout with another 700 win coach, John Chaney, earlier this year.
In traffic, Tar Heel ball.
Even with 2 fouls, Shavlik Randolph has to come in to get some rotation and spell Williams for a few minutes. Really important he doesn't pick up that 3rd foul.
So if you are just joining us already today, Illinois toppled by Ohio State. Kentucky defeated by Florida. Missouri over Kansas.
You point out Ohio State is eligible for the Big Ten tournament, but not for the NCAA tournament. But they will have that mark that they can talk about, knocking off Illinois for their first loss of the year.
Jawad Williams.
That was an assist, but really a fumbled assist.
By Felton. Felton, who turned it over 8 times in the game at Cameron. But he has been sharp since that game. Elchione, he's open on the wing.
Much better as a standstill shooter than he is when he has to put the ball on the floor. Roy Williams not going to waste a long time keeping May out on the lineup when he saw Williams go out. May ready to come back in.
Felton with a burst on the drive, and a block foul called on Duke.
Well, Felton is on the ground right now.
This could be it's the 3rd on Shav Randolph. Felton to his feet. 3 on Randolph. Duke lead, shooting 58% at the start.
As a basketball coach, I look at myself as a leader who happens to coach basketball. When they get out into the workplace, they're armed with not just a jump shot or a dribble. I want you armed for life. You know, I want you to develop as a player, I want you to develop as a student, and I want you to develop as a human being. My life isn't about playing games. That's why my card is American Express.
Timeout. 2 seconds left, and he's got to put it up.
More bars in more places. That's the goal of Cingular's all-over network. With the largest digital voice and data coverage in America, thanks to Cingular and AT&T Wireless joining forces. The new Cingular, raising the bar.
CBS tonight, the betrayal between 2 detectives will finally explode.
Well, you want to drop this thing?
You lied to my face.
A new cold case, CBS tonight.
Much of Duke's recent success can be traced back to 1986 and the play of Naismith Award winner Johnny Dawkins. He led the Blue Devils to a 37-3 record. He became Duke's all-time leading scorer with over 2,500 career points. How many Naismith Award winners have scored more career points? Now play Naismith's trivia for a shot at $1 million. Text the word play to 26222 on your wireless phone. You'll get 20 questions for 20 chances to win a trip to the 2005 NCAA Men's Final Four and a shot at $1 million.
Jim Nantz with Billy Packer for Duke in North Carolina. Duke has not trailed in the early going. As you look here, Billy, at the ACC standings.
Well, right here, these 2 teams tonight. There's 1 game to go with NC State playing against Wake Forest. NC State could find themselves with a win playing in the 4-5 game and only have to play 3 games in the ACC tournament. With a loss, they would have to play 4 games. So big game tonight.
Shav Randolph, you saw it right before the break, committed his 3rd. He thought he had drawn the charge, but instead Felton to the line for 2. And Billy, after looking at the standings in the ACC, how deep, I know things can certainly change up in Washington with the ACC tournament coming up this week, but how deep do you think they'll go from the ACC?
I think they're looking at 6. I think the Big East is going to be the conference with the most teams in, and I think they're looking at 7 and maybe even get to the 8th team. But it is going to be something for that committee now with so many teams so close.
And a steal forced by Felton.
Great save.
Able to retrieve it, lay it in.
This is a good move right here. Dockery no longer available for Duke. That means Ewing has got to be the primary ball handler. Yeah, they're in trouble against this defense.
Out of control. It's up to Jackie Manuel.
And that was against Marcus Nelson, who can leap as well. The press is very effective against this Duke team.
They have caught up with Duke on an 8-0 run.
Now they're going to trap half court.
Foul called on David Noel.
Jackie Manuel was all defensive player last year in the ACC. Terrific senior with a lot of leadership. Went through that 8-20 season, Jim. You know how great he has to feel to be on a team like this.
Boy, did he rattle the rim with that one. honored before the game, along with the rest of the seniors, Melvin Scott and Jawad Williams, the three who have played most of the career. And on the drive, Reddick.
And you heard the coaching staff from North Carolina in the background say, "Oh no, don't foul him." But this is what Reddick has done, improving his offensive repertoire, and that is putting the ball on the floor much better. Doesn't take it all the way to the hole to finish, but loves to get to the foul line.
That foul was called on David Noel, who picks up 2 quick ones. You're talking about the all-time free throw shooter at the line. And he is going to not only win the scoring title in the conference this year with what is almost 23 points a game, he's going to win the free throw shooting percentage title again, and that's a rare combo.
Well, he's in second place right now. So,
but you factor those two in.
Chris McRae is in first place in the ACC
by a fraction.
.942. They start talking about hundredths of a point between those two guys.
And I was going ahead and giving Reddick those two. We'll sort it out by the end of today. Inside Felton.
Second big drive by Felton in this game. The crowd is on its feet. This is no wine and cheese crowd, as Sam Cassell used to call the people in the Dean Dome.
Reddick again with a 3.
Over Manuel. Terrific range. Great confidence.
Oh, boy. They collided with forehead.
Oh, how about this call? I thought Reddick was perfectly positioned to draw that charge. You do not have to give a man a step in that case if you're positioned. Now watch Reddick. I think he's there.
Hey, lucky no one got hurt on that.
Absolutely. You're talking about Sean May, awful strong and going full speed.
Reach in on Nelson.
Now, Mike Krzyzewski doesn't want this game called this tight. And he's over there working the official right now. He needs the game called a lot looser than this because he cannot afford to go deep onto that bench.
That's the 7th foul called on Duke, and we're just midway through the first half. So Terry's at the line and hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Billy, when you said it's 6 from the ACC, obviously North Carolina, Wake, and Duke are in. Georgia Tech, you figure, is definitely in.
The tough two there is a Maryland situation and Virginia Tech, a team that has a very low RPI or high, either way you want to say it.
Right. And NC State, but you got to figure 2 of those 3, right?
Could they?
Yep. Virginia Tech beat this Duke team and then beat Maryland last night. And a push-off called against Carolina.
And if NC State loses tonight, Virginia Tech finishes 4th.
Sean May, what a season he's enjoyed.
Jimmy's in such outstanding shape compared to the way he came to college.
Marcus Nelson at the line. What a performance he had in the first game against the Heels. And he gets the first one to go. He had 16 points off the bench in that first game. Go along with 4 steals and 3 assists.
And when you think about North Carolina's losses to Duke and Wake Forest, in those 2 games, the opponent made 53 of 54 free throws.
Amazing. Wake never missed.
Right.
32-32. Duke 21 of 22. Felton wriggles free, and it's May with the big hands and 1.
Does he have a set of hands or not? Wayne Simeon, Sean May, and Sheldon Williams can catch that ball in traffic. Beautiful crossover dribble that time. But look at the catch right here. Look at those hands. And you're talking about, he takes this ball away from Sheldon Williams, who also has great hands, and then puts it up strong over Melchione.
Saw the hands also at the other end off the missed free throw. He just absolutely grabs the ball like it's a magnet. He's had 3 field goals, all of them on putbacks, and this time the 3-point play gives Carolina the lead. First lead of the game.
Jackie Manuel not getting a lot of screens set for Reddick in this game, so Manuel stays right with him.
And a foul on the Tar Heels going against Manuel.
Well, if the game is going to be called close, Reddick is a very intelligent player, and we saw that as he's blocked McCants coming back for that shot in the game at Duke. He understands how the game's being called. Now he's smart to put the ball on the floor and try to drive.
The 15 foul on the Tar Heels.
And Noel comes in, Manuel sits down. Noel is equal physically.
Williams.
Oh, nice pump fake.
Patient, puts it up, left hand, soft touch.
Got May off the floor. Terry will take that shot.
Noel inside. What a rejection by Sheldon Williams. How about that one?
Jim, he is the top shot blocker in the league. Can you imagine a guy like this that plays 34 minutes a game? He knows he's not going to be spelled on the inside and goes up and blocks a shot against a man that's as good a finisher as you've got in college basketball.
May outside. Chased down by Carolina. Noel will try the jumper.
This young man is really playing outstanding basketball. He had 19 against Duke as a freshman in that year that Carolina fans would like to forget.
Ewing on the baseline gets the floater.
And a little bit of size over Felton. Took advantage of it.
Terry. Tipped up May. Terry again.
That was Williams on another block.
And another putback by Sean May.
Just too many bodies, too much size by Carolina. Williams can't do it all.
Another chance at the three-point play. Foul called on Love. This great rivalry looking back to 1984. Dean Smith and Coach K. Tommy Amaker, look at him here, just a freshman, inside. But Michael Jordan had 25 to propel Carolina to the double overtime victory back in 1984, right here at Chapel Hill.
What is greater than?
Duke is shooting 67%, but trails.
But right here, Jim, is something that's going to build up. Points in the paint, 21. Second chance points, 13. Shavlik Randolph with 3 fouls on him. That is not a good sign for Duke. Florida State the other night came in here and shot over 60% against the Tar Heels in the first half. You want to make those free throws so you can get that full court pressure started.
Carolina has brought in Quentin Thomas, number 11. Very deep North Carolina team. Even with McCants sitting another one out.
Well, his father was quoted in the Raleigh Observer earlier this week, said he would be back for this game, but obviously not the case.
Noel with the steal.
Look at that speed.
And look at the touch.
Absolutely. This young man would be a starter for a lot of basketball teams. Most of what he does on the court is positive on both ends of the floor. And he's on Reddick right now.
You're talking about a guy who came from Duke's backyard, from Durham.
That's right. Was a football star in high school.
10 on the shot clock. Ewing over to Sheldon Williams. No foul. Chase down Nelson.
New shot clock, though. The ball did hit the rim.
That was the first offensive rebound of the game for Duke.
Well, they were dominated in the paint and on the glass in the game that they won over in Durham. Out rebounded by 15.
That's the third foul called on Noel. Well, when you're shooting 67%, you don't get that many chances to get an offensive rebound.
And see, Jim, when Noel goes out of the ball game, Manuel comes back in. This is a deep North Carolina team, flexible in all positions except point guard, where they must have Felton on the court.
Sheldon Williams, 2 more. He has 10. 6 minutes to go in the half. Felton makes it a 3-point lead.
Talk about the loss of Dockery. See, he'd be guarding Felton a lot different. He stops dribble penetration better than Ewing does, particularly with Ewing being responsible now for being the lead ball handler as well.
Felton, what a defensive play that was. Tipped it away, gets the steal. Sean May.
Beautiful.
Inside, and Williams lays it in.
Beautiful passing and a dump down inside. We talked about Marvin Williams, a terrific finisher.
Timeout Duke. Carolina with its largest lead of 5. Billy, let's take a look at our Pontiac game changer.
Well, one of the things that Duke does, and particularly here's when Dockery was still playing for him, what they do well is take the lanes and get outside the three-point line to spread out the defense. Now watch what Redick does on this play. He'll realize that he's going to pick up 2 screens. Williams coming down the middle and Dockery on a handoff. So he's going to be wide open for the jump shot. And boy, you give him that shot from there, and you might as well call it a layup. Here he goes from there, and it's a layup.
Something like that. Yeah, that first one was on tape.
Yeah.
And the second one was live.
It doesn't make any difference. You give him that shot, and he will hurt you.
That shot was the 300th three-pointer of his Duke career. Stepping back for a 3, Jawad Williams tipped around to Melchioni.
Good idea. Redick realized he couldn't catch that rebound, so he batted it to a teammate. Manual on him. Redick looking to get some bodies to run off of now. And there he used it wisely.
Ewing, Duke's in front. Boy, they made up the 5 in a hurry, +1.
I really like that offensive set that time by Duke to get Ewing free.
Outside, Sheldon Williams with the body.
That's not a foul you want Williams to commit. 35 feet from the basket. He's going to pick up some fouls down in traffic, so you don't want him getting caught out there.
And let's take a look at our All-State alumni update. Charles Kuralt. He was a proud North Carolina man.
And CBS newsman.
Oh, yes. For so many years, Sundays and CBS belonged to Mr. Kuralt. Remember when his nephew was a manager on the basketball team here in North Carolina.
Felton, a 68% free throw shooter. He has improved his shooting technique so much this year, going from a 30% three-point man to leading the league in three-point percentage. But that 60-some% is not good from the foul line. I'm surprised North Carolina not pressing every opportunity they get to wear Duke down. Plus, I think Duke is a shaky ball handling team against the press with Dockery no longer in the lineup.
Duke has brought in a fresh body out of Ridgefield, Connecticut. David McClure. Nelson. Inside, it's pulled down by freshman Marvin Williams. Patrick Johnson's also in for the Devils. 51 in the paint.
Oh, great.
Jawad Williams unable to get it to go, but he'll step back to the line for 2. Timeout on the floor, and the Blue Devils lead it by a point.
Hit me.
All right, folks, you can now play Naismith Trivia for a shot at $1 million. Text play to 26222 on your wireless phone. You'll get 20 questions for 20 chances to win a trip to the 2005 Men's Final Four and a shot at $1 million. 26222.
Jim, let me put something in perspective here. There are 96 McDonald's All-Americans in a 4-year span. 59 of them are still playing in college basketball in that last 4 years. 10 of them play on these 2 teams.
Wow.
And of that 96, Duke actually signed 9 of them. Carolina 7. So you wonder why we're having a pretty good game. There's some pretty good talent. McDonald's an All-American doesn't mean that you're going to move up to the next level and be a great player, but it's a pretty good indication you were a fair high school player.
And as always, there are more on the way next year. Ewing gets it across with a second to spare.
Smart play by Ewing on the step back against that press to gain some room.
Ewing, not this time. Johnson lets him reset.
And there's Manuel. Smart play on his part, never losing sight of Reddick, even when he might have normally gone for a loose ball.
Battle underneath, and Felton, he is called for pushing off on McClure. Coming up, singular at the half with Greg and Clark and Seth. They'll have all the scores and highlights on what has been a phenomenal day in college basketball. You get the latest basketball news. It's coming up on Singular at the half. Back to the studio.
And Jim, there's one. If you're Felton, you don't want to foul McClure. Even though he's bigger than you are and he's got you down on the low post, make him prove he can do something if they threw the ball to him.
1-1 for McClure. Freshman misses. And Jawad Williams puts it back in the hands of Felton. Carolina leading by a point. Beautiful bounce pass. May finishes.
Hey, Duke only has 2 starters on the floor right now. And Carolina far superior when they go to the bench.
And they're trying to give Sheldon Williams a breather. Reddick rejected, foul.
And Reddick twisted his ankle a little bit.
Let's take a look at today's Wooden Award profile presented by TIAA Cref. J.J. Reddick. Again, he's the career free throw percentage leader, almost 94%. And the junior walking it off a little bit after twisting the ankle. That Carolina bench was up quickly. They thought it was all ball. Second foul called on Manuel.
But Jim, he led the ACC last year, and he misses one. He led the ACC last year, 143 out of 150 free throws. There you can see the block. This year, he's already shot 175 free throws. So you can see that he's figured out ways offensively to get fouled more.
That last miss probably will cost him the free throw title. 3 for 4 in this game, and he's going to get taken out here for a minute as Patrick Davidson will replace him.
Well, Mike just wants to make sure he's okay. I think he'll be going right back in. Yeah, he never even touched the bench.
He's got a word with the coach and went right back to check in. In the meantime, May puts it up and in.
Duke has no answer now. Williams on the bench, Shavlik Randolph on the bench, Love on the bench. There is no answer for May.
I don't know many people in the NCAA tournament who are going to have an answer for Sean May.
Well, at least if you can be neutral. Right now, he is just going to be dominant inside.
McClure, and Jawad Williams lands on him.
Nice sportsmanship there by Williams.
Well, Duke in this game has knocked down 6 threes with Reddick starring. Ewing hit that one. That gave him the lead back by 1. But they're trailing currently by 4 as Reddick returns. Carolina still without a 3 in this game. Duke again with 6. But it's McClure, the freshman, to shoot 1-1. This time hits the front end.
Reddick this year has had 8 40-minute games. You start talking about all the things he's required to do, including playing better defense, playing 37 minutes a game on the average, but 8 40-minute games.
This one in the end will probably be 39 minutes and 50 seconds.
You know, I don't know if they'll even charge him with a minute.
Won't count a minute, but he was definitely out for a portion of play.
You can't say he played 40, right?
Yep, you can't. I don't think so. So McClure hits a couple. And they've got 2 minutes to go in the half. Ewing picks the pocket of Felton. Traveling.
Well, DeMarcus Nelson loves to go inside, but when you've got Marvin Williams Terry and May, it's tough to get a shot off. You'll see right here. 3 men all have about 4 or 5 inches on him. No place to go.
May likes the matchup here. In and out, tipped up Terry. Also, off the rim. May with the hands. Blocked by Johnson, and a tie-up, arrow, Carolina.
I thought that Johnson got him with the body before he made the block. No call. May can't believe it himself. Watch the contact on this play. There's no question that's a foul.
Outside, Felton, that was a 3. Nelson gets it for the Blue Devils with 1.5 to play.
Considering the foul trouble and Williams having to sit down, Duke hanging in here fairly well, just
No
down
question.
2.
Ewing on the drive and a reach in. And that's called
On whom? Because Felton's looking like it's him.
called on Terry.
Oh, that's a break there.
His second. The 10th team foul, so the double bonus. Ewing to the line, can tie it with a pair. Daniel Ewing, we've been talking about senior day here at Chapel Hill. It was an emotional scene over at Cameron a couple of days ago as well on Thursday when Daniel Ewing said goodbye to the Cameron crowd and had the first double-double of his career. That's
hard. It really did. I read that in 14 points, 10 assists against Miami. And I found that hard to believe. He's had some incredible games. We remember earlier this year when he set the pace for that big 29-point game against Michigan State. Been a solid player for the...
Yep, for the Blue Devils, he hits 1 out of 2 one-point game. 56-2, he closed out his home career. 4 years, that's not too shabby.
Nope.
And the winningest player currently in college basketball is Daniel Ewing. 110 wins. Under a minute to go. Terry with the 3 on the wing. First of the game for the Tar Heels.
I told you he's not afraid to take that shot. He's becoming more and more confident. And Roy Williams goes one more man deep down in the bench.
Daniel Ewing short as Felton.
That was a bad shot, Jim. They want to use as much clock as possible.
Timeout, North Carolina. 45-41, Tar Heels. Final half minute of the first half. Let's take a look at the coaches poll. Illinois losing today by a point.
Will that one cost them, Jim? I think the only people that can move up there potentially is North Carolina. That's going to be tight. Kentucky with a loss. Wake Forest could slide ahead of Kentucky playing NC State tonight. But I think all of those guys are in the hunt almost for a #1 seed.
And there you see Kansas also losing today. Kansas coming into the day with the best RPI in all of college basketball.
I think a win tonight by Wake Forest would move them ahead of Kansas in that #1 seed position.
Got a 3-second differential on the game clock. Melvin Scott looks around. Reddick defending.
Scott was a point guard in his career earlier.
And Ewing with 10 seconds to go bumps him. Double bonus at each end. Second foul called on Daniel Ewing.
Mike Krzyzewski pointing to someone, I don't know. He is upset, and it looks like he's pointing to the North Carolina bench.
Felton with a couple. Nelson comes in for Ewing.
And you can see, Jim, what happens to this depleted bench with any kind of foul trouble. Mike Krzyzewski has gotten his players to understand they're not going to get tired, but there's nothing he can do about it if they get in foul trouble.
Brings the lead to 6.
It's Terry on Reddick. Reddick can take him.
Reddick from way outside, short. Chase down Melchione, gets it away in time, and Carolina goes to the locker room with its largest lead of the game. 14-point turnaround over the final 13 minutes of the half.
I'm Greg Gumbel in New York. Coming up on Singular at the half, potential #1 seeds Illinois, Kentucky, and Kansas all falling down today. Will it affect the tournament seeds? Singular at the half coming up.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, raising the bar.
Tomorrow we're going to look back on this day and say, someday in college basketball. Welcome back to our New York studios in Singular at the half. I'm Greg Gumbel. After 20 minutes of play in Chapel Hill, North Carolina leads at 47-41. I'm joined by Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis of Sports Illustrated. Duke scores in spurts. We know that Carolina is relentless.
Yeah, they really are. And their front court strength and the fact that Duke has a limited front court rotation is really going to be a problem in the second half. Randolph and Williams both have 2 fouls, and May is having his way in the paint.
And when you have an advantage in terms of depth, you want it to be an up-and-down game. The first time they played, Duke won 71-70. Carolina is on pace for 94 points. It's their kind of game.
All right, earlier today, #1 Illinois at Columbus. Clark?
With Illinois up by 2, Roger Powell Jr. denied by Terrence Dials, and the Bucks go the other way.
20 seconds remaining. Luther Head will miss the 3. Ohio State comes up with the ball, trailing Illinois 64-62. Less than 10 seconds to play. Gus Johnson with the call.
They need a 2 to tie. A 3 will win it. Sylvester for 3. Oh! Oh! With 5.1 to go. Williams. Luther Head. Here's Paul. Has shocked the nation, knocking off the #1 team in the land.
The play was designed, guy come off a double team, kind of as a decoy, and I was going to pop, and I hit the shot. I told him I was going to hit it, and I hit it.
What does this do now as you prepare?
Well, I just told them, you know, we have to learn from this. First, celebrate what we've done, 29 wins. We've met our goals so far, 14-0 non-conference. We said that. We set a Big Ten championship outright. We got that. We got more big things to do.
Matt Sylvester right up there with Clark Kellogg in Buckeye lore. 65-64. Illinois finishes the regular season 29-1. #3 Kentucky at Florida Seth.
This was a key late possession. Patrick Sparks is going to drive for Kentucky. Stripped by Anthony Roberson. He's fouled. He hit both free throws to put Florida up by 1.
Trailing by 1. Azubuike misses the 3. Florida's David Lee.
I said coming into the game, I said I'd love to have it no other way than having our arch rival come in here on senior night. And man, never beaten him in my career, about 0-8 or so, and just being able to get that victory is just great for our basketball team. Our team is just is feeling good about peaking at the right time of year right now, and we're very confident going into the tournament.
On the table was the 1900th victory for the Kentucky program. They didn't get it. Florida wins 53-52. Kansas at Missouri. Clark.
After trailing most of the game, this 3 by J.R. Giddens ties it at 64.
And then Kansas went on to lose. Keith Langford out of the game early, didn't return with an injury. Coach Bill Self.
He didn't practice this week because he turned his ankle in practice on Thursday to start practice, and then he re-injured it. And we'll get x-rays and MRIs and all that stuff, I guess, when we get back. But you know, I think that it's very realistic that he'll be missed for the Big 12 tournament, and hopefully we'll get him back for the NCAA tournament.
So #7 Kansas goes down, #3 Kentucky down, #1 Illinois down, with potential #1 seeds Illinois, Kansas all losing today. How does that affect your choices for the top seeds in the tournament?
Well, I'm going to say locked and loaded the way I was earlier. We're going to take a look at my #1 seeds. I still think Illinois is the #1. Then after that, it's North Carolina. And after that, I think you've got to take a look at Kansas despite the loss today, and then Wake Forest.
Well, my #1 seeds haven't changed with all of this. The only thing I disagree with Clark is I've got Wake Forest as a 3 and Kansas is my 4th. People want to ask about Arizona. I think they have too many bad losses. They cannot get higher than a 2 seed.
All right, what counts is what the committee thinks. We'll see if they feel the same as you do. Next Sunday night, we present exclusive live coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show. Incidentally, next Saturday, we'll present the Pacific Life Pac-10 title game. game. Washington could be in it. It leads us to another candidate for this year's Naismith Trophy, presented by Cingular Wireless. Clark.
The Power Pack, Nate Robinson, a mini-size stat sheet stuffer supreme. He does it all, and he does it with a smile. He's a terrific open court player. He's the catalyst for the Washington Huskies, who have a chance to make a strong run in March.
All right, Clark, remember, you can still play Naismith Trivia for a shot at $1 million. Text PLAY to 26222 on your wireless phone. 20 questions, 20 chances to win a trip to the 05 NCAA Men's Final Four and a shot at $1 million. Thanks for joining us on Cingular at the Half. We'll send you back to Jim and Billy for the second half of Duke and North Carolina after this.
CBS Sports presents Cingular at the Half, sponsored by Cingular, raising the bar.
Well, the Blue Devils were held without a field goal the last 4.5 minutes of the first half. Carolina leads it.
Destin. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by American Express. My life, my card. Cooper Tires. Confidence, performance, mileage. Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing. And by T. Rowe Price. Mutual funds, IRAs, college savings. Invest with confidence.
Well, you look at the first half numbers. Jim Nance, Billy Packer here at the Dean Dome, and field goal percentages are outstanding.
They really are. Duke a little bit above their average, but Carolina right on it. 3-point field goals. North Carolina, because they've been so dominant in the paint, have not needed to use it. And for Duke, it's been Redick out there with outstanding shooting.
Points in the paint, and this is the one standout performance of all. Sean May, 17 points, 9 rebounds, also 3 assists. Almost got the double-double in the first half, 1 rebound away.
Well, as I said early in this show, he's 23 points, 18 rebounds in the previous game this year. Last year, 15 points, 21 rebounds, and 14 points and 15 rebounds. So against outstanding teams, he steps up.
Sheldon Williams set down the last 3+ minutes of that first half, and again, they did not have a field goal. Duke, the last 4.5 of the half. Sheldon Williams and May battling. They say it belongs to Carolina. They missed now 6 in a row, 6 straight shots.
With that much room, Redick normally hits that shot, and he's doing a good job now burying himself down in the screens so that he can come out of there with some wide open looks.
On the drive, and that's Jackie Manuel.
You don't see Manuel go one-on-one very often, but he has played outstanding basketball, shooting over 60% in his career against Duke.
May tied him up, got it clean, and the arrow belongs to the Tar Heels.
May is the first player I've seen this year that was strong enough to stop Williams when he ducks in like that to score. Some crossover dribble there.
May again with the offensive glass.
Oh, this is a delayed call. Who's it going to be on?
Jawad Williams over the back. That's his third.
I thought May got hammered here on this shot. No call was made. And then over the back. Shadlick Randolph in the game has been non-productive so far, with the exception of getting those 3 fouls, which really forced Mike Krzyzewski to go to the bench with some minutes he didn't want to play.
Picked up 3 fouls in only 3 minutes of action. Here's Shad Randolph, passes up and hits Melchione, who knocks down the 3.
And Melchione has really stepped up for this team and provided not only valuable minutes, but has really put some points on the board in big games.
And makes the big shot at critical junctures. That one coming with them 8 down. Now off the steal. Blue Devils on the run. Melchione blocked.
That was Jackie Manuel from behind. Melchione is not a great leaper, but he had to go for the dunk here. See, he ducked his head in and went to put it on the boards, and therefore there was no elevation, so Manuel could get a piece of the ball.
Melchione, 2 straight, yes. 2 straight threes.
Over Scott. The other thing about it, Jim, he doesn't mind taking the big shot. A lot of times a guy who's not used to being a starter, afraid to take that shot.
Marvin Williams, the freshman, says, give it to me.
Young man can step outside. Great free throw shooter for a big man, and there he showed you a power move inside. Now there also is a tribute to May's defense. You notice there was no double down. They just said, go ahead, May. You handle Williams by yourself, and he did.
Get complete college basketball coverage at CBS Sports Line. And a reminder, Fantasy Baseball now available for everyone from beginners to experts by clicking on Fantasy Baseball, CBSSportsLine.com. Out high this time. May gives it up. Manuel. And the foul, reach in, Melchione.
Melchione ought to raise his hand immediately.
They have called it on Sheldon Williams. They call it on Williams.
Yeah, Melchione should have immediately raised his hand, Jim, because it could have been called on any one of 3. But for Duke, it gets called on the wrong guy.
And that's 3 on him, on Sheldon. Jackie Manuel. Comes up all there.
Yeah, this is not one of his best attributes, shooting free throws.
Bet he makes this one, though.
As I said before, from the floor, coming into this game, he was 18 for 28 career-wise, 64% against Duke. As we saw yesterday in Connecticut game, some guys, Jerry McNamara, having all kinds of problems against Connecticut shooting when he normally is a great shooter.
Melchione pinned underneath and almost strips it away. It's Carolina ball.
Melchione really putting some aggressive action on the floor right now.
That surprised you? You were there for Connecticut's big second-half performance to beat Syracuse in the matchup with the last 2 champions.
Well, Connecticut, Jim, and this is a tribute to North Carolina's basketball team. They beat them in Hartford. Connecticut right now with Maurice Williams, one of the best teams in the country. They're another team extremely deep, particularly in the front court.
Inside, Williams. May. Randolph has it.
That was Sheldon Williams blocking Marvin Williams, who is a terrific finisher. What a block this is. Without fouling, because remember, he has 3 fouls. Look at this block. That is a great defensive play.
Randolph back to the rim, and May, he has his double-double. Noel, what a pass. Manuel finishes.
Jim, that was a very intelligent play by Noel. He could have passed that ball earlier and maybe had it picked off. He held his ground. As I said before, he just doesn't make mistakes.
And Randolph calling for it. Leaning in, drawing the foul. Take a look at the shot chart for J.J. Redick in this game. 17 points, all in the first half. 5 for 8.
Well, most of those came against Jackie Manuel, stepping way out, as you can see. But the second half, he has not been able to get himself started, even though he's moving pretty well without the ball.
2 shots coming for Shavlik Randolph. One of the 4 players battled illness or injury this year, as it's been really an undermanned Duke squad most of the season, and what they've been able to come up with to go 22-4 has surprised many. Randolph missing a number of games with mononucleosis.
His top game as a player was the very first game he played at Duke. 23 points and 7 rebounds against Army. but he has been battling various injuries and illnesses throughout his career.
Noel gets away from Randolph, left open. Randolph.
And Noel was
Keone.
Noel was looking to pass on that play. Assumed he'd be guarded coming off the screen. Nobody there. He had to double clutch it.
Reddick fade away, and no foul. Here comes Carolina, leading by 6. Up ahead they go. No call.
That's the second time Marvin Williams has been stopped on a dunk in the last 30 seconds.
Sheldon Williams working hard. Banks it home.
Again, look at North Carolina's technique there. They're allowing May to play in one-on-one with no double downs at all. Hands. Touch.
Strength.
May has raised his fist, meaning he's asking to come out for a break, and now he's called it off.
Yep.
He said to the coach, I can hang in there.
He knows there's a
little different rapport. He wants to show that if Williams can stay out here, I can stay out here.
But he gets called for the reach around. And that's called on Sean May. So again, this great rivalry continues, and you look back to 1995, February 2nd, North Carolina at Duke. Jeff Capel's shot on the run from some 30 feet, forced double overtime. Wallace scored 25, Stackhouse 25, Carolina 102-100 in another Carolina Duke Classic.
I don't look at myself as a basketball coach. I look at myself as a leader who happens to coach basketball. When they get out into the workplace, they're armed with not just a jump shot or a dribble. I want you armed for life. You know, I want you to develop as a player, I want you to develop as a student, and I want you to develop as a human being. My life isn't about playing games. That's why my card is American Express.
CBS is the first to know. It's your team in, and where will they go? It's all on the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show next Sunday on CBS.
Defining Success, presented by American Express. Two of the most successful basketball programs of all time include Duke and North Carolina. This unmatched rivalry has seen some of the best players face off, creating unforgettable moments and fantastic finishes. Many of these players have gone on to be successful well past their collegiate careers.
.56-50 North Carolina, 14:41 remaining.
Jim, a real key for Duke here is, and there's that lob over the top. Shavlik Randolph goes over Felton, but the key for Duke now the rest of the way, Reddick is only 0 for 2 in his second half. He's got to get more touches.
Juan Williams rejected, and Randolph comes out with it.
That is the third block Randolph has had with 3 fouls on him. Or is he at 4 now or 3?
Got 3. Again, they came so quickly, no factor in that first half. But he scored now, not this time. Had a chance, 2 straight baskets, plus a block. Reach around for steal. Daniel Ewing made that one happen, and he broke early, but Sheldon Williams didn't see him.
Both of these teams really making some good judgments and not throwing the ball away. That time it was Sheldon Williams.
How about the pace of this game versus the 71-70 pace the first time as Reddick's off the front of the rim?
I think the intensity is the same. I just feel that Duke, with Dockery on the floor, had the numbers that they could play a little better defense.
Juan Williams. 3-second call on Tar Heels. How about the inbounds play to Randolph?
Well, Felton gets caught. The ball going right inside. You have your back turned. A good screen inside by Williams. Takes 2 men with it. Shavlik Randolph right over the top. He's going to get a well-deserved rest here. But Duke has got to figure out a way to get Redick some shots.
Inside Williams. And brings it to a 2-point game. A couple of times you thought Carolina might break it open. Back come the Blue Devils, and this time a foul called on Nelson. And near the end of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet makes a contribution of $1,000 to each university's general scholarship fund, Chevy and American Revolution. Second foul called on Nelson. And May at the line.
Jim, you've watched these two teams go after each other over this storied past. It's hard to believe in the last 24 Final Fours, one of these two teams been in there 18 times. That is unbelievable, isn't it? And they just keep coming with good ball clubs.
I would think there'd be at least one more this year.
They got a chance.
They both do. Good shot. Scott with the block off Nelson.
Been a lot of blocks in this game. Well called by the officials.
Scott with the three. Right back to Jawad from the corner.
Another great block inside. Terrific defense on the part of both teams with shot blocking.
How many official blocks do you think they have right now in this game?
How many
for both teams?
How many official? I'd say there should be a dozen.
There's 7.
Yeah, well, they're wrong. We've seen 7 in the last 3 minutes.
They're happening so fast they can't keep up with them. 12 minutes to go. 4-point lead. Carolina.
And think of it. Redick is 0 for 2 in the half, and Duke is hanging in there.
At 17 in the first half.
He's taking a breast right now.
5 on the shot clock. Ewing fires from the corner. Keone tips it out, but only Scott of Carolina is there. Noel from the side. And last touch by Jawad Williams. Good ball after the break. What an emotional scene we have here. Another great one brewing between Roy Williams and Carolina and the Duke Blue Devils of Coach K.
Join Mark's Road Crew mornings on WRAL.
Well, Billy, you take a look now at the top 25 breakdown with the Big East. The greatest representation of 5.
5 teams in the top 25. I really think, Jim, they're 7 or 8 deep in the NCAA tournament coming out of there.
It's Redick. Melchione. Melchione's third 3 of the half. All 9 of his points in this half.
And that's because they had the double team on Redick. He got the wide open look.
Brings the lead down to 1 for the Tar Heels. Carolina's gone 4 minutes without a field goal. Felton.
How about Felton's leaping ability to keep that ball alive?
But it belongs to Duke. Redick. How about Redick's spell here? He has not made a field goal since the 5-minute mark to go in the first half.
That really says something about the Duke offense because he's such an important part of it. They haven't gotten him in looks, and a lot of it has to do with the defense by Manuel and Noel of North Carolina, but they have got to get Redick some shots. They're rolling that handoff and then this high screen.
Look at Melchione outside.
I think that was about 2 steps beyond his range. He shot that unnaturally.
Melvin Scott's left open. Top of the key. And the Tar Heels have missed the last 7.
And here's where Reddick is dangerous. Open court. Ewing doesn't get it to him, scores himself.
Ewing gives Duke the lead at the 10-minute mark. Its last lead had been at 37-36. They're in front again.
Mike Krzyzewski, 6-1 against Roy Williams. Did he pull it off again?
The 12-4 run has put the Blue Devils ahead.
Bad shot.
Manuel tried to dunk it on the follow. And May tipped it out and retrieved his own tip.
They need to go back to May inside North Carolina. They've gotten away from their offense. And Jim, you're telling me there's only 7 blocks? That was Williams.
We'll make it 8 now.
That is the 3rd time Marvin Williams, right around the basket, has been blocked by Sheldon Williams.
Sheldon Williams has 5 blocks, though, of his own. There you go, 9 total now in the game. For the 2 teams.
Set a record for Duke last year in shot blocks in the year with over 100.
Wants to work on May, and a push-off called on May.
Well, you won't find many people that'll be playing Duke in the NCAA tournament that won't have to double down on Williams, because he is so strong. He's got excellent footwork. He's got those big hands.
And Scott almost forced the turnover. And it's Duke ball. No fresh 30. 5. 30 seconds on the shot clock. 9 minutes to go in the game. Every possession the rest of the way will be key. Carolina's in a dry spell, having missed 10 straight shots.
Jim, I think they started going a little bit too much one-on-one. They were much more effective when they were getting the ball to May and then letting good things happen.
And Duke has come back without Reddick, opening up his offense this half. This one's thrown away. Back to Duke.
Remember, Felton had 8 turnovers over in Durham. That was not good judgment on his part to throw that one.
Sheldon Williams and his rejections. Five total. Williams, Scott comes down to double up. Beautiful move. He went around the basket and scores.
How about that footwork? Felt the double team coming from the outside, goes under and uses the rim. I really think this would be a good time for a timeout by North Carolina. Get them back in sync. Shavlik Randolph picks up a cheap one.
Wow, number 4. And that is only the second team foul. Make that the 3rd of the half. And 4 on Randolph.
You know, there he's got to think a little bit, Jim. He knows the foul trouble he's in. He's got Marvin Williams 25 feet from the basket. No need to put your hands out there with a hand check.
Carolina 7 minutes without a basket. Manuel trying to create, and does.
You know, Jim, one thing we ought to think about right now, Rashad McCants. This is a point in the game where I said that Carolina wouldn't miss him as much as Duke could miss Dockery, but now's when McCants would be so valuable as that other shooter on the floor.
Sheldon Williams short on the hook. Heels can take the lead. Inside, May having a monster game, and he gets in the lead.
As I said, when they go inside the May, things happen for this team. They got away for it in that period of time, about 5 or 6 minutes where they were scoreless.
Look at Rashad McCants trying to find a way to be a part of this game. He runs out on the floor to greet his teammates who come back to lead by 1.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Chevy and American Revolution, supercharged for 2005. Sprint. The Sprint PCS fair and flexible plan for families means the end of ugly overages. And by Fidelity Investments. Stop by your local Fidelity Investor Center today.
Jim Nantz with Billy Packer. We have 7 minutes and change to go here in Chapel Hill at the Smith Center. And it's 62-61 North Carolina.
Jim, the thing that jumps out to me is that Duke has been able to hang in there. Actually had the lead for a while. Reddick in the second half is 0 for 4 after 17 points in the first half. They have not been able to get him on track. Give Jackie Manuel a lot of credit.
Melchione's tried to make up for that by knocking down 3 threes in this half. On the shot clock for Ewing. Williams tries to set a screen. Over to Melchione. Oh, a soft roll off the rim and the glass.
Well, his old high school teammate Matt Walsh had a big game today, and Florida beats Kentucky, so that'd be quite a day for both of those kids.
Look at Nelson Sky for that one.
That's his game, Jim. Inside around the glass, either driving. He had the big game against Carolina. At Duke, he hasn't spoken up big today, but he can get a rebound inside in traffic.
Melchione, the big story in this half with 4 threes. Williams had position underneath, and they call a tie-up, and the arrow belongs to North Carolina. 6 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. We look back to 2003, the game here. Billy, remember the confrontation? Timbers flaring? Between Matt Doherty, Chris Collins, Greg Buckner, Rashad McCants at 26. Carolina won at 82-79 2 years ago.
Hey, aren't you guys tired of getting...
Well, as the game has tightened and the pressure has intensified, look at the percentages coming down in the second half, particularly Carolina.
Yeah, both of these teams shooting well over 60% in the first half, but points in the paint, North Carolina dominated. But Jim, the reason that their percentage went down, theirs being North Carolina, they really got away from their offense. There was a lot of one-on-one movement, and Duke was stopping one-on-one movement with some good shot blocking inside.
Tar Heels down 2. Jawad Williams. Looking around, has a man open in the corner. It's Felton with a 3.
No place to go here. No place to go.
Nelson. And from behind, Felton knocks it out.
There's where the freshman has to understand the numbers were in Carolina's favor. Pull it out to the side. Possessions are really important here.
Felton missed that 3 from the corner. Carolina's only 1 out of 11 from behind the arc. Point lead and possession, and they'll get a new 35 on the kick.
Well, in the first game, the big stories were steals for Duke. They had 17 steals against North Carolina. Today, to me, the big thing has been shot blocking.
The other big story in the first game was that failed final possession by North Carolina, where they failed to even take a shot in the last 18 seconds, and a last loss by 1. Reddick back out to Melchione.
Good decision.
Double up on Sheldon. Underneath, he draws one. He's going to the line for a pair. Don't miss a minute of March Madness. You can access live video to all games outside of your viewing area, plus live tournament press conferences, highlights, and more. Sign up now for NCAA March Madness on demand only at ncaasports.com or cstv.com. Marvin Williams with his second sends Sheldon Williams to the line, and he'll have one more.
Jim, a very interesting cerebral approach that Williams has to how he keeps his stamina going. He said he divides the game into 4-minute segments, and all he does is work towards those segments. When he gets over 4, then he plans for another 4 minutes. So here's a guy that is playing over 30 minutes a game, over 35 minutes a game, having to play both ends tough.
Big offensive rebound by DeMarcus Nelson. Ewing on the wing, 3, back of the rim. And Nelson tried to make it happen a second time, but no. Inside Manuel, and the Tar Heels tie it at 64.
How about that perfect soft pass that time by Felton? Jackie Manuel just having an outstanding game this second half. He has shut Reddick down, and he's doing the job offensively as well.
Inside and 1. Sheldon Williams back to the line. The other end.
Look at this soft pass. Right on target. In the last game, the other thing that Duke did well, they prevented North Carolina from getting fast break baskets. They just eliminated that kind of basket.
Sean May, after a brief break, is back, and Williams just missed a pair and makes it 3 misses in a row. They got the basket for the 2-point lead. 5 minutes left.
And Nelson's showing some strength, not allowing Felton to turn the corner.
Williams turnaround. And Ewing there for Duke. We've already had 1 and 3 lose today, Illinois and Kentucky. And now number 2 is down 2. You ever recall a day where 1, 2, and 3 lost in the same day?
No, I haven't, Jim. Boy, Duke is really doing a good job now. Even with May back in the game, they realize that they're going to their inside game and then inside and kicking out when Williams feels the pressure of 2 men on him. And with Melchioni on the outside with Reddick, you've got 2 guys that can shoot from the perimeter. Ewing as well.
17 on the shot clock. Reddick shut down this half. 5 on the shot clock. Williams, soft, yes.
He loves that shot. Puts his big upper body against May and just creates the space for the half hook.
And Duke now leads at 68-64.
It's green apple gone silver. Introducing.
The lead belongs to Duke, the arrow to Duke.
Jim, how about some craziness? Maryland, maybe on the bubble. Who have they beaten twice? Duke. Virginia Tech has beaten Duke.
It did beat Maryland.
Unbelievable. And, you know, I think about these battles between Roy Williams and Mike Krzyzewski. One of the most unusual ones happened in 1991 when North Carolina destroyed Duke in the ACC championship by 25 points. Then they met in the Final Four, Kansas against North Carolina, Roy Williams against Dean Smith. That's the game Dean was ejected. And then who do they face in the championship? Roy Williams has to go against Mike Krzyzewski, who had just beaten Vegas, and they win the national championship. Kind of amazing.
Coach K's first national championship. That was the Grant Hill dunk early in the game. And the lineup tomorrow on CBS, still standing, all new. Listen up, Raymond, 2.5 men, CSI Miami, and the Late Show with David Letterman. He had to address a little spilled blood on the floor. Let's check the CBS Sports Line stat of the game, and 3-point shooting pretty one-sided here. Very one-sided.
It really is. 1 for 11, not good by North Carolina. And I think that was created because they did not take advantage of the tremendous game May is having, hitting him inside and then getting Duke to slough down in and kicking out to wide open shots. But again, let's give North Carolina some credit in this regard. Rashad McCants, their premier shooter, not playing in this ball game. And the other thing, Jim, North Carolina has not been able to get in a position to get their full court press going because they haven't been shooting as well in the second half or getting to the line.
All right, Carolina to inbound, down 4.
They would be wise to make sure that Sean May touches the ball on this possession.
Looking for him. Right through the hands of Noel.
That's sometimes a hard catch to make. You're coming right at the ball, coming on the curl. It gets to you quicker than you expect.
Reddick gives it up. Williams, easy basket. Set up by Reddick. They probably all thought he was finally going to shoot and try to break the second half doldrums.
How about the delay by Williams so there's no block available? Boy, North Carolina's kind of losing their composure here. This reminds you of the last 18 seconds of the first game.
Well, they're lucky they will retain possession. Last touch by Duke. And you look at the game from earlier this year you spoke of. February 9th at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Carolina was down 1 point, 18 seconds left. And again, failed to get off a shot. Duke won at 71-70. Duke leads here by 6 with 3.5 to play.
5.1 seconds left. He throws it down the lane. He grabs it this time. Fakes left. Shots up.
Relive your glory days in the Allstate Alumni 3-on-3 Classic. Sign up at allstate3on3.com. That's allstate3on3.com.
Carolina to inbound underneath. Down 6. Led by as many as 8. Talking about Carolina, and Duke came back on them. Inside, May. Melchioni reached in, helped knock it loose, and it's Duke ball.
Well, on that timeout, Jim, you can be assured Mike Krzyzewski said, look, guys, they are confused right now. They'll have to go to May. They do not have a real strong shooting team on the floor, so double down on traffic inside. That's exactly what Duke did.
This game was tied at 5:20 remaining at 64 all. Been 6-0 Duke since that time. And looking to add to it, Melchioni, corner shot, rattles home.
How is he wide open?
How is he doing? 5 threes and a half, all 15 for Melchioni coming in the second stanza.
Wow, this is a call this time on Shavlik Randolph away from the ball. That would be his 5th, wouldn't it?
That would be his 5th. It is his 5th, and he is out.
Jim, let's put some perspective in this. For Duke to be in the lead, Redick hasn't scored since the 5-minute mark in the first half. That's 15 minutes of playing time in the first half, and what you have here, 17 minutes in the second half.
That's 5 minutes to go in the half.
Oh, 5 to go in the half.
Okay.
All right, at the 5-minute mark.
Yes.
Then. Okay, all right.
He didn't score 17 in the first 5 of the game.
I was just going to say, I'm looking at that 5. I'm thinking that's 30 minutes without a basket.
But still, nonetheless, it's 22 minutes.
Yeah, well, to say that Duke can be in the lead and Redick doesn't have a point in his second half from the field is amazing.
But what has Melchioni done to make up for it?
No Dockery. Melchioni steps up and does the job. These guys just believe they can win.
Biggest deficit of the game for the Heels. Manuel puts it up. May, what a game. Too strong, tipped up, yes. Jawad Williams. And a timeout called right off the made basket. Timeout, North Carolina.
A lot of big bodies on the boards right there with Shavlik Randolph out of the game for Duke.
2:40 remaining, and Duke leads it 73-66. So Carolina makes the shot on the putback by Williams to cut it to 7, but 2:40 remaining.
And if you're Redick, what you want to do is get on the foul line somehow. Seems like Melchioni's always open, doesn't it? Here he's an outlet pass.
He had a half like this in the first half against St. John's, and that is a Duke turnover.
They've been few and far between here in this second half. Now let's see if North Carolina gets the ball inside and it just pounds the glass with the big size they have on the floor. Playing with one guard out on the floor right now is North Carolina.
So only the 3rd turnover of the half for Duke. Oh, Felton, back of the rim. May, big hands again, and it's Carolina ball.
They have so much size, Jim. If they get the ball up on the glass, they're just attacking. What Duke may try to do is send the guy long and pick up an easy basket.
But those short shots aren't falling.
Here comes Felton again. Get it up on the glass.
And a foul.
Oh, that was a weak call there. All ball by Williams.
4th on Williams. We are 1 week away from Selection Sunday, and in fact, exactly 1 week to the minute to the selection show here on CBS. The exclusive first live announcement of the field, the brackets, next Sunday on CBS. Marvin Williams, and the freshman will shoot one more.
Williams shooting 83%, 7th in the conference. For a while was in a position to be the best freshman free throw shooter in the school's history.
2 for 2.
Here comes the pressure. but they're playing with a big team. Duke ought to be able to handle the pressure.
Push off on Noel. And that'll bring on the 1-and-1 bonus. 17 fouls on the Tar Heels.
Now Nelson's only a 53% free throw shooter. I was kind of surprised he was back there handling the ball. Normally that'd be Ewing or Reddick.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, millions of American kids play Grand Theft Auto. Did the video game cause one of them to kill 2 cops and a 3rd man? We'll have that story on 60 Minutes tonight. Duke has missed its last 4 at the line. Make it 5.
Yep.
Remember that again, they had made 21 out of 22 in that first matchup in the win. Carolina trying to swing that momentum. 4 unanswered. What a block. Follow-up. No goes and 1. May with his 21st rebound of the game gets the basket on the floor.
And that ties his record in this arena. 21 rebounds against the great player. Look at those hands on the second try. No question on that foul.
Actually, the rebound Billy gives him now 22 rebounds.
New record here.
Career high. More importantly, for the 3-point play, 2-point game with 1:44 to go.
You want the ball in Reddick's hands. He ought to keep it and try to pick up a foul.
Reddick has it. Gets it across with about a second to spare. That's all. Reddick on the drive. Reddick kicks it out. Melchioni, can he do it again? Williams gives him a new 35.
Nelson is getting the ball, handling the ball a lot.
They can work it down near the 50-second mark. Leading by 2.
How about a 5-second call? Awful close.
Man open. It is Reddick. And he's off again. And it's May with rebound 23. Carolina up ahead. Can tie it. Manuel. Doesn't want it. Kicks it out. With 45 seconds to go. 2 for the tie. 3 for the lead. Felton wildly puts it up. Rattles out. Nelson underneath for Duke. Wild scramble. Duke ball.
Boy, Nelson doesn't mind going up in traffic. Some big rebounds. Look at that two-handed rebound on his part. Duke attacks him. The ball goes around.
And it's off Felton, and a timeout called with 36 seconds. Here's your lineup tonight on CBS 60 Minutes. Cold case, special night in time for CSI Miami, and a special night for CSI New York.
Jim, right now, Duke is in a situation where they've got 2 players on the floor. Nelson shooting 53%, Melchioni 61%. Normally Dockery at 76% and Reddick at 94% would be the ball handlers. And if you're Duke, you don't need any more points. You want to get to the foul line and occupy clock here.
You got about a 4-second differential. And Ewing lost it.
Arrow Duke.
Carolina saying, we call timeout.
Did they get it? The arrow is Duke's if they didn't get the time, and let's see how the referees, they are giving him the time.
They're signaling a timeout. Carolina. So to reset, Carolina awarded the timeout before they called the tie-up situation, which would have been Duke ball on the arrow. Carolina has it with 27 seconds to go, down 2.
Well, it was 27.8 seconds. There were 18.2 seconds in the game over at Duke. And Felton put the ball in his hands. He's got it again.
Carolina on a 7-0 run to get back into it. Felton.
Block.
Foul. Foul called. It's called on Nelson of Duke. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. Sheldon Williams from Duke. Sean May, North Carolina, in recognition of their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet with a $1,000 contribution to each University General Scholarship Fund. Felton at the line for a pair.
And Mike Krzyzewski wants to get some more size on that line to block out in case of a missed free throw.
they've been thinking about that last possession at Duke for now a full month. And this time they weren't going to go through this whole span with as sloppy a play, and Felton just drove right to the basket. Now he can tie it.
Well, Felton said after that game, he and Sean May went back to the room and looked at that film, so I'm sure it's pressed in his mind. Miss.
1 of 2, and the rebound, Carolina.
And a foul is called.
Carolina has taken the lead on the putback.
How important was that 5th foul on Shavlik Randolph? That's Marvin Williams who go to the line. Of excellent free throw shooter. There's 17 seconds to go. Carolina with a good free throw shooter on the line and a 1-point lead.
Look at the battle for the rebound, and then Marvin Williams comes up with it. He is hit, and he banks it home for the lead by 1. And a chance to go up 75-73 if he can this one.
Pretty smooth for a freshman. Timeout. And now Duke with 17 seconds will find themselves in the same position Carolina was in.
Tar Heels with 11 unanswered to take the lead. With 3 minutes left, Duke led 73-64. But now Carolina with 11 unanswered leads. Duke 17 seconds to go. The length of the court, tie it or win it with a 3.
And Jim, just think about that timeout that Carolina called when they had possession of the ball, because the arrow was going Duke's way, and everything has happened negative for Duke since then.
Will Redick, who has been shut down in the half, will he have a chance to be the hero? Or will it be Melchioni getting the shot? Redick's looking for it. This for the lead. Redick in and out. Ball tipped around out to Ewing. Ewing shot short. May with the rebound. And that's it. Carolina has won it. Carolina wins 75-73.
College basketball is on fire, James.
What a day. What a day. And a harbinger of more madness to come. You take these games today. A 1-point win, Ohio State over number 1 Illinois. Florida by 1 over number 3 Kentucky. And second-ranked North Carolina.
And Missouri, Kansas.
Missouri beats Kansas by 4. Here's the lineup again tonight. 60 Minutes Cold Case, and then CSI Miami, CSI New York. For Billy Packer, this is Jim Nantz saying so long from the Dean Smith Center, where the final score is North Carolina 75, Duke 73. It's been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the men's NCAA basketball championship. What a scene.